Hello, fellow watch collectors. This is James with Watch Collectors Guild. As promised, I wanted to present a video about Vostok watches. So, if any of you have been collecting watches for a while, you already know about Vostok, I'm sure. They're a Russian brand, been around for quite a while, and they are proven dive watches with a rich history. They have their own in-house automatic movement, and really, if you want to go into the technical details and the story of that movement and their dive watches, I would refer you to some other YouTube videos. So there's a couple of other videos I found where the presenters did an excellent job of presenting the history of Vostok, and same as I'm gonna do, showing some of their collections and what they look for when they choose them. There are many hardcore fans, I'll say, for Vostok out there. Ones that even say that they would put them up against high quality Swiss watches. Now, the greatest thing about Vostok is really the price. So you're getting an automatic dive watch that's actually been a proven dive watch. You're getting it stock under $100, and this is 2021. We're talking, and you're still getting it for that low price. Now, with all the money that you save, you can spend it towards modification, which is really big in the Vostok community. And I'll show you some of the modifications I've done on my small collection here, and also done a couple modifications for some Vostok watches that I'm selling on my eBay and Mercari websites. So let's go ahead and jump in. So as you can see on my wrist here, this fine piece, this was chosen because not only does it look great, but it is the watch worn by Steve Zissou, the character played by Bill Murray in The Life Aquatic. Very great movie if you're into Wes Anderson type humor. Now, this watch is close to his except for the bezel. So this model is part of the 420 case collection. So Vostok has all these different cases that you can choose from. This round one goes by model number beginning 420, and then they have different model numbers for, like, say, the different variations of the dials and bands, bracelets. For this one, I had to purchase this Vostok silicone band to match what was used on the movie. I did not use the bezel. It did come with the bezel that was used on the movie, but I went ahead and upgraded to this this one you can see here. Now, one thing to note, when you buy Vostok watches and you rotate your bezel, they use friction. So no clicking, it's just based on friction. So within here is a small wire, that thin wire that goes across, and that creates the friction to hold it in. Another thing, the crown. So when I unscrew this crown, pull it out, you'll see, oh no, it's wobbly, what's wrong with it? That's intentional. So that's actually a safety mechanism for the watch, so you won't break that stem. And one other thing, so the glass is actually, this is plastic, so just like your old school vintage dive watches, Swiss and whatnot, they always use plastic. So Vostok continues to use that. I guess it keeps the cost down. I think the Vostok mentality is more about replacing parts instead of maintaining them or preserving them. So, instead of a crystal lasting forever, you get a scratched up plastic, you just replace it. Or you can pick up a polish like this. So, poly watch, make sure it's the one for plastic, but this supposedly will get the scuff marks and small scratches out. Now, changing the date is something that I actually had to look up, but for you guys, I'll just go ahead and include it. Alright, so we have to change our date on this watch. Let's see. It's hard to focus in on that date. Had a little bit of light. Okay, it says the 13th. Now, if you want to change the date on a Vostok, you're going to have to rotate until the hour passes 12 and the date changes. Okay, so that's midday. So I got another rotation. Bear with me, guys. Okay, let me turn this down. Okay, so here we go. So I'm about to pass the 12 and it changes. So it's 14 now. Now to change the date, I go rewind my watch. So going counterclockwise, you're gonna pass 9 almost till you get to 8 on the hour hand, and then go back over 12. Let's go slowly. There you go, you heard it snap. So it's 15 now. Now you would just keep doing that over and over again to get your date to where it needs to be. Just keep going over, keep passing the 9, close to the 8 on the hour, and then back over to 12. So keep that in mind if when you're selecting these Vostok watches, because you do have the option to choose a non-date model. So with there's a pretty broad selection of Vostok watches. You can probably find a case with the dial you want, except, and there'll be one model for non-date, no date, and then one model for with the date. So if it's a watch you're not going to wear often, then and you don't want to fool with changing the date or it bother you, then just go with the non-date version. Okay, so let's get into the rest of my collection. So I picked up, I like this watch so much that I got the blue version of it. Sorry for the wobbly camera. Alright, so this blue version, I changed the bezel and I changed the bracelet. So it was a stainless steel, changed it to this Dutch strap. So I thought that's pretty good. Next, and by the way, these watches, the model is called the Amphibian. So the dive watch, one of the dive watches is called the Amphibian. This is also Amphibian. I forgot the model number for this, but I'll put it in the video description. I wanted to go with a green dial, green bezel, kind of, Hulk looking watch. And this one delivered. This one was a little bit pricier than the others, but still, I think maybe paid a little close to 100, maybe a little over. Now again, you got the plastic glass, so that's something that you're gonna have to polish as you get scuff marks, and you do get them easily. So keep that in mind on how you're gonna use this watch. Alright, so next, let's go ahead and get into the watches that I'm selling. So I'm on Mercari and eBay. You will find Vostok watches, and they're gonna keep coming. So if some of these have sold, don't worry, there's more on the way. Okay, so here we have, I got the number here, the Vostok 12847. So case 120, and then style 847. Now this is a good representation of the kind of standard bezel that these watches come with. But I did change the bracelet on this. It had on this, I believe it had a silicone bracelet. So I went ahead and swapped it with this Dutch strap to get the black and white kind of Beetlejuice look to it. This is an amphibian dive watch. Alright, so next, let's get into the Komandyrskis. So the Komandyrskis are like the military style watches. Now they do have dive watches, like this one here. The Komandyrsky 020711. Alright, so I didn't change anything as far as the bezel. And all this is factory. I changed the bracelet. So I took off the stainless steel bracelet, which was just kind of a bland bracelet, and put this cool NATO strap on it. Now I am selling this one with the stainless steel bracelet together, so if you want to swap it out, you'll still have it. And this is the Komandyrsky dive style watch. So you can see that it's very similar to the amphibian. Now, a lot of your Komandyrskis are going to be kind of your military field style watches, and very much like kind of propaganda watches, military. So they have like here, this is like an Air Force watch, but there's ones with tanks on them, ones with submarines, battleships, particular military events and victories. Now this still has your automatic movement in it, and it has the rotating bezel and screw down crown. But these guys are, and you know, some water resistance to it. These guys are going to be like half the price, maybe a little more than half the price of your amphibians and your Komandyrsky diver watches. Alright guys, that's been a brief rundown. Oh yeah, and I will say, remember that if you buy a watch from me, I will include one of these little swag bracelets as well, so you can give a little flair to your wrist. You know, I'll try to match it with whatever watch you buy. These were handmade by my wife. She makes a lot of different jewelry. And guys and gals, you know, keep collecting. Hope y'all find some great pieces. Find pieces that speak to you. Like me, I picked up this Mickey Mouse watch with Chinese characters. So buy fun watches too. Have fun with it. It's not all about the fancy Swiss watches that are on rich people's bucket lists. Like, just get what you like. Alright y'all, salute. Till next time.